guys, I am a little under the weather. I've been trying to fight it, so I'm probably gonna be coughing on her and on you. But bear with me, bear with me. What's up, Dwight? Dwight, nobody was late. You were late.
Dwight, it's 4 o'clock.
You were late. I'm not sure what time zone you in, Dwight, but the time zone we're in, we hit the button at 4 p.m. Get it together. Get it together. Matter of fact, it might have been 3:59 while you playing, Dwight. Hey, let's get back to this entitled children. I think we have quite a few entitled children in this world, and we're trying to find out, are you the victim of these entitled children?
What do you mean by entitled children? Let's start there. On anyone's toes, about your parenting skills, like that. What we're about is like when your child feels entitled to whatever you have, be it your finances, home, be it your car, be it whatever. So entitlement means that you're not telling them no, that they feel like they can always have whatever they want whenever they want it. And if you tell them no, it's like they're going to throw a temper tantrum. So what do you do with those entitled children? How are you not raising them? And Key and I have this conversation quite a bit, because
all the time.
because kids that throw all this and going to Walmart is because I see all these kids screaming, right? Screaming all over the floor. Is on aisle 2, the child is on aisle 10 because they can't get what they want. So what are your thoughts on how can we not raise the entitled children? So that's what we're talking about today. So Dwight, what do you say? Do you have children? I don't know. Let us know.
And it's more Walmart. They're not just in Walmart. They might scream louder in Walmart, but they're all over this US of A.
Right. Dwight said we want our kids to have more than what we had, but I'm a firm believer in kids need to learn to earn.
I'm glad you said that, Dwight, because I wanted to touch on that today too. You hear that so much. I want my child to have more than what I. What does that mean?
So are we giving our children more we have instead of teaching them what we were taught? Because I think a lot of times we overindulge. If you're a single parent, maybe you overindulge by giving your children or your child, just whatever they ask for because you're trying to make up for that absentee parent that's not in their life. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure my child has everything they want because I don't want them to be sad or I don't want them to feel neglected. So you go over and above to make sure that these kids have whatever they want. And then they start to feel entitled, and some people think there's a difference between being entitled and being a spoiled brat. So for me, a spoiled brat, I just want to choke them sometimes, but so let us know what you guys think about that. Key,
So what do you consider a spoiled brat?
What I consider a spoiled brat is someone that's entitled. You feel like you're entitled.
They hand in hand to me.
Right. It's like a play on words, right?
Okay,
so
I'm just checking.
So, are you entitled? Are you not entitled? I see we have some women on the live as well. So ladies, you chime in. Dwight told us he have 4 boys.
And he set limits. Absolutely.
So what are some of those limits that you set, Dwight? Let us know that. Dwight, we actually have a link on the page. If you want to download that, we would be happy to have you here. So, Key, so what do you think? I see Monica is watching. I see Freddie, Tamia, and cheering, So do you feel like your kids are entitled to everything you have?
Like I said, when you talk about entitlement, everything I have, what aspects are you talking about? Most of the time when I'm talking about an entitled child, it's almost that kid that you feel you give a child anything just because the sun is shining today, or you just felt good. I just saw my little kid walk in the room. Because I think sometimes, and then that sentiment of like Dwight was just speaking with, I was echoing saying when he spoke about, we have a sentiment of saying, I'm going to give my kid more than what I had. That's fine. But to a certain extent, you had 2 pair of shoes, you'll give your kid 15 pair of shoes, or you had 2 pair of shoes, you'll give your kid 4 pair of shoes. you gonna give your kid something just because they walked in the house, they woke up this morning, they're breathing, or you rewarding them for grades when that's what they're supposed to do, or you rewarding them for chores because you think that's what I'm supposed to reward my child for chores, or you giving your children chores to show them responsibility? Because I do feel no one's gonna love my child, your child, the white child, anybody's child more than you love your child. That's just my opinion, because when you go out in the world, with the service to some of our children, because the world's not gonna love them like you love them. This is a cruel world out here. Even with social media, you could just put on your social media, oh, look at me today, I feel pretty. Man, you ain't pretty. Take that off. Like, wait a minute, this is my page. So you know how the world is so cruel. So when you entitlement to them, I just sometimes feel that you need to do it in a way that they understand it. And don't get me wrong, your child, you do what you want to do, but it's fair to your child. Ask them or explain why you giving it to them. As a matter of fact, I think G was telling me about this couple on Dr. Phil, this child and mother, and I just happened to catch it here recently.
Oh, you saw?
Yeah,
okay.
A snippet of it. And I'm saying, you're on there talking about he wants $1,000. You give him $1,000. He wants $1,500 more. So you will give a child $2,500.
But here's the kicker to that, right? So the kid is like 16 years old, if he's that old. So his thing was he needed all this money because he wanted designers. He loved labels. He wanted all these labels on his back when his mother could not afford to do that. Right. So she said she was working 50 to 60 hours a week just to make sure he had what he needed.
I'm going to cut you
not
off.
Needed.
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say she said 100 and something
hours.
I want to say, but y'all researched and so it was more than 56, because we know that sometimes the average person just do 56. I want to say she was in the 100. Now I was blown away.
You could be right,
because she said to take care of her home and her kid.
But she has more than one child.
Like 120 hours.
Right.
Wow.
So, and here's the other thing, right? She moved out of her bedroom to give him the bedroom because it had the larger closet. So it was like, is this guy for real? So he didn't believe in going to school. He didn't want to go to college or anything like that. He said he was going to be a YouTube star. He was like, oh, wow. And the show that we was watching, the host was like, oh yeah, YouTube influencers, you have YouTube influencers, so you can do that. So he asked the guy, he said, well, what's your YouTube channel? Right? He didn't have a YouTube channel. He was like, have you ever posted a video? He said, I posted one, but I took it down because I didn't like the way I looked. And Dr. Phil, or the channel that we were watching, he was like, well, Mom, it's nothing wrong with that kid. It's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
Because you're doing all this and you can't afford it. Sharian just commented, Key.
Oh, let me go back up to Dwight. You had asked him about what does he do. Dwight said, I don't give anything. They earn it. Because if you just give, they would not respect it. I can care less if they are sad. They would earn it from their grades, doing things around the house. Absolutely. Sharian says, well, do your kids supposed to pay rent if they live with you and you're an adult? Now, I ain't gonna lie on that, sure. I felt my mama, you chose to have me.
No.
You need to, that's what people feel.
She said, you're
the kid is an adult.
Yeah, she said the kid is an adult.
She said, well, your kids.
She said,
well, your kids supposed to pay rent?
If they live with you and are an adult.
Oh, well, that threw me with the kids. Help me out, Sharon. Kids and an adult. I'm getting a little confused. Can you give me an age bracket on there? And if I'm understanding based on what G is trying to do clarification for me, if you have an adult kid that stays with you based on the circumstance why they're coming back home to you, absolutely, why not have them? Even if you putting the money away for them to hurry up and get out of your place, why not? Because I just think sometimes our kids are not equipped the way they should on how to take care of responsibility.
Right.
Then you wonder why they get out and can't function, because mothers, uncles, guardian, you baby them so much to when they get out, they cannot handle anything. Then you're not surprised. You make excuses for it, but society looks like a person like me looking at you like,
why you didn't teach your kid
on how to balance this? And we just do a disservice. And anybody's parent, please someone's trying to knock your parenting.
Right.
But
we all parent differently.
If you are real with yourself, it's about making these kids become young, productive adults so they can take on society. You can't go to work with them. You can't always be at the hospital with them. They got to be able to talk and handle business like they should. Freddie mentioned entitle and spoil is different to me. Spoil is the young babies and kids wanting their way all the time. Entitled comes when you are old enough to understand life, and you I guess you're trying to say you think your mother and father owe you. That boy on Dr. Phil was special and needed his butt kicked. No, it ain't just him. That's his parent, because I understand everybody kept talking about the kid. Yes, he has a problem, but that came from the mother. Who moved out the room to give you a bigger closet? Would you go out of my room? A lot of that stuff became, I feel more parent, and then his son. If he's what you say, he was 15, because I didn't get the whole show. I got to snip it up.
15, 16. He wasn't an adult.
15 and a 16-year-old telling me as a mother how to run my house. I'm giving up my room for your clothes. Not because you got an illness, hospital bed, you know how we do, in a room. Not because we need oxygen tanks set up in there. We're talking you room for a closet. Go tell that to somebody.
But else. I have 2 other children, right? So that, I mean, what Freddie, you said entitle and spoil is 2 different. They're 2 different to you. 2 different things.
That's for a baby trying to entitled child.
Right. So we actually looked up the definition for entitle and spoil. They pretty much go hand in hand. They're pretty much the same thing, because a spoiled kid is entitled, feels entitled to whatever they want. And by the mother or the father not, correcting that, we're just setting these kids up for failure. And we believe if we just give them whatever they want, they get out of there when you're not teaching them anything, right? So it's about our parents or our parents or whomever raised us back in the early days or whatever, they believed in discipline. I know right now it's taboo to say discipline depending on what field that you're working in. They don't say discipline. But I believe you spare the rod, you spoil the child, because this is a cruel world and you're not going to always get your way. So how does that one child deal with rejection if they have been entitled to their entire life? So let me say this, Freddie. I believe there's a difference in being spoiled and being a spoiled brat. Okay, so maybe spoiled brat and entitled means the same thing, because a spoiled brat, you just feel like if I throw this fit, I can get whatever I want. I think if you're loved and if you're, all of us are spoiled to some degree because we're loved, right? So it's nothing wrong with spoiling your children, or spoiling your husband, your wife, your friends, or whatever. It's nothing wrong with that, because that's just showing love. And I think there is a difference between being spoiled and being a spoiled brat and being entitled. I'm sorry, you want to read some more of the comments, Key? Sorry, you want me to read since your throat is...
Sorry, they should have been think. What are you saying, Freddie? You said, sorry, they should have been think. I'm not sure what you're saying. Sharon, going back when I was asking her about the age, she said over 21 won't leave. Oh, so you have adults in your home that I guess are your children, or young adults, and they won't leave. Well, yeah, that's a tough one right there, Sharon, because like I said, why are they there? I mean, they can't make it on their own, or, they just having a setback right now. Because they're having a setback, it's okay. But how are you in the home and you won't leave? I don't know. That's a tough one right there, because I know that's my kid. And that's the whole thing about this conversation. How do you set them up to fly?
Right.
That's the issue. So you're saying they're back with you, Sarge. They're back with you and won't leave. What does that mean, they won't leave?
Well, do you set boundaries before they move in? I believe. Well,
she came back. Sorry.
Okay, she
said both make. Let me go to Freddie. She said if they come back to
the house
home, I guess because of money issues, they can't afford to pay you rent. And that's why I was asking, what are they coming back for? It just depends. Or pay a light bill, pay some. It just depends on what they're coming back and what they're doing with their money. She said both make good money. So Sharon, you saying they make good money, they live with you, and they won't leave. Now I'm confused.
Well, what she's saying is they won't leave the house. They live with her. They're not paying rent or whatever. They're not doing.
I'm still confused.
Why?
Because why are they still? So is for you? Are you okay with it, Sharon? Because to me, it's a no-brainer. You gotta go. Because if it's not bothering you, hey, let them stay. If that works for you, but they're making good money and they won't leave. You said over 21. What's the issue?
So do you just put your child out? I mean, I don't think you just put your child out.
If apparently it's a problem.
But is it? I mean, like
they won't leave. That's her comment.
But what do you mean they won't leave? Because it's your, so you decide who's there, right? So
I'm just going by what she said to me. Right. That sounded like they won't leave. I mean, that's an issue because hey, for you go fly the nest. You want mama?
So let's have we equipped them with what they need to leave? Do they know how to be on their own if they leave the house?
Speak to us, Sharon. What's the problem? Why won't they leave? Did you have you raised them to let them fly? They're making good money using your air. Are they paying you any rent? Because it sounds like if they won't go pay rent other places and all that comes with being adulting, what they call adulting, since they won't do all that, yeah, they need to go and pay you then. Unless they're doing everything for you already. I don't know. You got to give me a little bit more on that one. Hi, Connie. Freddie also said, well, I'm not on mommy's side. I thought she was crazy because her butt would not get no money if I choose not to. And the amount she was giving him was crazy. You said, I'm not on mommy's side? Oh, okay. Okay. Janine, you were spoiled. Oh, okay. That was what Freddie said. Oh, Sharon said never left.
Well, let me say this. Freddie, you're right. I was spoiled and I'm still spoiled. I believe, and my point to that was all of us are spoiled, right? All of us are spoiled in our own right. But I've always been a go-getter, right? So I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. I feel like whatever I have, I've worked for it, right? I don't believe that anyone owes me anything. I feel like if I want it, I'm going to go get it, right? So that's the difference. And maybe I was a spoiled brat growing up. I don't know. No, Freddie. I mean, you were in my life, so you let me know if I'm a brat. I don't know. I just know today, I know I can here and get it. I know ain't nobody giving me nothing. So Dwight, you said you downloaded you should be able to just click on it and we'll see you on our feed. So let us know how that works out for you.
Freddie are at home and they have a job. They need to pay rent and give them $18.
So Freddie, so if they're paying rent, do you save that money for them? Like he said earlier, do you put that money in an account? So when they do get ready to leave, they get out in the world, you're saying, here, take this money that you over these 6 months, a year, or however long, they're there, and you use this to pay your rent, right? You use whatever you want to do. So it's not like you need the money. It's just that you're teaching responsibilities.
Age, I didn't clarify on that age bracket when I say put the money back. I think it depends on the age too. If you're talking about a young college student, decided to go to college, came home out the semester, I probably work with them, put them, still need to be a teaching moment. You're talking about somebody 25, 20, 30, 30. I'm not putting your money back for you. I'm going to teach you how to say, because by that time you should know banking business.
No.
You should.
Right. So who's teaching it?
I said you should. Understand, but you said, no. I never said they do. I said you should.
You're right. You're right.
Because hope by that time I am teaching you that moment. I'm not going to put it back for you. I'm going to teach you how to do it so you can get it together and move out of here.
So are they paying you? Because you said you're going to put it back for them.
That's why I said based on that age. When I said, let me clarify when I said put the monies back.
Okay.
I was saying it like when I made the comment of a young college student or something, or a person who went to that first year and came home.
Okay.
Probably for that person, I probably put it back while I'm trying to teach them the situation, because we know they try to blow it sometimes, but it's still that you cannot teach them. Every moment should be a teaching moment. Now you're 29, 30, 36, and you happen to come back home and say, no, I'm not holding your money. By that time, hopefully you just made some bad money moves, but we need to get you back on track. So I just think it needs to be a different age bracket on when you put the money up. That's why I was trying to clarify. No, Not my 35-year-old child, not my 30-year-old child, probably not even my 29, 28-year-old child. I'm putting your money back for you. So when you leave, hey, I put this money. No, because at that moment, I really need you to know how to handle. Not saying you still got to stay, but learn how to handle it.
But I am learning how to handle it because I'm paying you monthly.
No, I'm speaking on the part when I mentioned I was put the money back for you.
Well, no. They don't know that you're putting the money back for them.
I know they don't know, but I'm just saying I was putting it back for that person, the younger one who might still don't have it straight together. No, I'm gonna tell the person, the one who's paying the rent as well. As a matter of fact, I might get to the point like, no, you don't pay me. You need to start putting savings. I need to see how much you. It just could be different scenarios. I was more talking about the younger one.
Okay.
When I would put the money back and give it back to them. Okay. That's what I mean in that sense, like that.
Okay.
One said, why pay $1,000 rent when she can save it and enjoy her life and pay a little something?
Oh, so that means she's taking advantage of you pretty much.
Well, Sharon, that works for you. Okay, so what happens is something happened to you and they can't stay. If you want them not pay $1,000 and enjoy their life, that's fine. Enjoy life with responsibility. Just because you enjoy your life, I can enjoy my life and still be responsible. Still know how to pay my bills. Still know how to save money. Still know how to invest. I can still enjoy my life through that. So why can't that young adult know how to do both? What is called enjoy your life? You talking about drinking and smoking, partying, buying clothes, something of none value? So it depends on what you're talking about enjoy your life on. So you have to speak on that. Because you enjoy your life don't mean you can't be knowledgeable of how to take care of business as a young adult who turns into an older adult who gets a family. I mean, that's the whole issue of it. Connie says, I believe you should prepare your children to be productive for independent adults. That's the point. We aren't to be our children's crutch.
But Connie, I think a lot of us are crutches for our children because you okay?
Yeah, we don't go out.
I think a lot of us are crutches for our children because we feel like we don't want them to suffer. We feel like, oh, if my child gets out here and bump his head, what's going to happen to them? So, I mean, sometimes we say we're not going to be a crutch, but then we are a crutch to them, right? It's just a fine line. And I think, well, we're having this conversation today because Key and I talk about this all the time. And we just feel so bad for some of these children who don't know how to handle society, right? And when we say society, we mean pay bills on their own. We mean go get a job. We mean just functioning, right? How do they function in this thing called the real world? Because the parents or whomever's in their life has made it so easy for them until they don't have to do anything for themselves. So Connie said we need to teach them to be productive, independent adults, but we got to teach them that at a young age. You can't just say when they get 18 and 19, oh, now you're an adult. That comes from the time that they're 5, 6, 7 on up. You have to teach kids as they're growing. You just can't wake up one morning and say, you go, Key, you're grown now, so you go out in the world. And I think that's unfair.
And G, that's what she was really saying. She said, okay. I believe we should prepare you. You should prepare your children. Okay. Be productive, independent adults. So she's talking about when they're young, when they're children, to be an adult. Yeah, so that's what she's saying, and that's what we're saying. Like I said, please don't anybody take this personal.
Right? No.
I just think we're at a point. Just even me working with big brother, big sisters, working with you, and just wanting to be a mentor. When you come across a lot of these young children, they just don't know a lot of things, and it's not to say. And I know a lot of people say you can't teach what you don't know. Prime example, growing up where I grew up from, my mom being an educator for 34 plus years. That don't necessarily mean that takes more advantage of me having more advantage of the next kid. It's just maybe that's something she wanted to instill in her children, me and us as children. Like she's having me write out her checks. I'm looking at her like, why am I writing out your check? Not knowing that was a teaching moment. She would sign it, but she had me to write it out because that was her smooth way of saying, Child, you better learn. You gonna learn this stuff until you got in school with it. Right. I'm writing out 300. I'm like, oh, okay, blah blah blah. And then when you get older, you realize, oh, now when you're in school, you see what the teacher's showing you, like, Oh yeah, my mom already showed me this. So it's just something we have to do better with this generation. You can spoil your child. You can send your child to the moon. I don't care. Just let them go equipped. And a lot of our kids are not. I don't care who you are and what you say. A lot of our kids are not equipped. You can spoil them. No one talks about not spoiling them. Just have them equipped when you send them to the moon. And our kids are not. It's not good. If you want to go buy a 9-year-old an iPhone 11 and a Gucci bag, make sure she go ahead and teach her how to do a bank account. Since you're already doing it, show her how to put $5 back. Show him, and like Sharon, in your case, why pay $1,000? It's nothing wrong with that. They can pay up that, not pay $1,000 live with you, but show them how to put that $500 at $1,000. Since you think $1,000 in rent when they can stay with you, tell them put $500 in IRAs or investing in something. So when anything ever happens to you, or they decide to move out, they probably gonna pay for a home cash. So that's just of the methods of what we need to do with the generation. Give your child whatever you want to give your child. Just give them part B. Don't get them all the materials and not the education.
Right.
That's a problem.
Sometimes we don't know that. My whole thing when I was raising my son, my thing was when I was raising my son, it was all about I'm raising somebody's husband, I'm raising somebody's father. You know, he was like 5, 6 years old. I always had that mentality because I wanted him to have what he needed in this world to make it. I'm not saying that was right, that was wrong, but he had chores when he was in the 4th grade, right? So it was mowing the lawn. It was doing his laundry, his own laundry. I stopped doing his laundry when he was in the 4th grade because I'm like, you could do this for yourself. I mean, I cooked, I did all that, but what I was doing was teaching him along the way that you have to do for yourself that not everyone is going to do for you. So this whole entitlement and the thing that Keith just with teaching your kid by finance, I think talking about when you were talking about the checkbook and how your mom taught you subconsciously, this is what she wanted you to learn how to do. Given the fact that we don't write checks anymore, we do have to teach our kids that because you have a checking account and they offer an overdraft fee thing,
debit card is not free money.
Right. And they're like, oh, well, I can pay for this because they're gonna take it out. I have overdraft, I do all this. And then by the time the kids get paid, they don't have any money because they've had to pay the bank back. So it's a lot of things that we have to teach our children about the finances, so I'm not sure how we're talking about entitled and finances. Are we talking about both of them, or have we moved on from entitlement?
I think they kind of go hand in hand because what's an entitlement child? Entitlement. That means you get what you want.
Absolutely.
So where you get it from? It's just not free. So even if this is a piece of chicken in the kitchen or a Louis Vuitton bag, that means someone had to pay for that.
Absolutely.
And that's something that means that child needs to understand and know about that. So I think it all ties in together. You don't walk in, kids understand you can walk in, the lights come on, the TV pops on. That's not free.
No, it's not.
So you teach kids how to balance those things out and have responsibility. Yes, growing up, I left all the lights on. The one boy, my dad would come in and say, girl, stand until you got your own place. Now it resonates with me to say, oh, that's what he was talking about, leaving all the lights. So I get it when you said we didn't know or parents don't know how to teach it. I agree with you. I know we know as parents that how the world moves. I know we know stuff is not free. I know we struggle when we have it. I do know we know that. It's just a choice we make where I don't want my child to be part of that struggle, and that's your choice. But with your child not part of that struggle and understanding how things work, it's different from saying I don't know. It's just if you don't want your child, if you're not thinking to teach your child that information you feel is not important to them, that's on you until you get put in a situation where it's talked about or thought about, like, oh, maybe I should teach little Johnny or little Sarah how to handle business.
Well, what if I don't know how to handle business?
Well, it depends on what aspect of the business. When I place TXU or Atma, when a company sends you a bill or you go charge a card, they want their money. You might not know everything to teach. All I'm saying is I get it. We can only teach what we know.
Right.
If you know how to, you got to go get an apartment. You might not know all the aspects because we get it. Everybody don't know all the
ins and outs.
The ins and outs.
Right.
And that's not it. But you know enough to tell them you have to do right on this part. You have to keep your name clear. If you can't get an apartment or you can't buy a house, they'd have told you, shit, tell them. Then they tell you why you couldn't get it done.
Well, what if I got everything?
Tell them how you got it.
Oh, so you're teaching them about credit at this point.
Teaching them about whatever it is that works for you to make them be little productive citizens. That's what you're doing. Okay. What is this? Somebody said, Denise said, G, you were a spoiled brat, G. Oh, okay.
I was not a spoiled brat.
Said you are now. That sounds like you.
I'm a spoiled brat now? Girl, let me know, because I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Freddie coming back saying, heck no, the money is for rent, light, water. Freddie also said, okay, say the kid gets a job at 16 years old. Have them open a bank account and start to save money. Then maybe in high school, show them how to pay bills, so they would know. They would know how they would know when they get out at the age of 18. Right. And that's absolutely, Freddie. And that's all I'm saying. That's what you're saying. That's a start. Yeah, that's what you were saying. And then Freddie said, there is nothing wrong with helping your children. God bless us so that us.
Freddie, there's a difference.
Get out of my face, girl.
Difference between helping and being a hindrance. Right? Because I'm helping you because, can you get up again? I'm going to take your bill. Oh my God, he is on one today, okay? Lord. There's a difference in helping and being a hindrance.
He don't feel well, but I'm rolling through it, G. Why are you bringing attention to my
ear? I'm not, you in my ear.
Oh, well, I should have you got a mask earlier.
I'm sorry. So, with that being said, it's okay to help them, but what am I helping you? Why are you? And are we working so that am I helping you not to be in this situation again? Right? So I can give you money all day long, but if I'm not teaching you anything, I'm not helping the situation. Right? So you have to, it's like he said, it's a teachable moment, and you have to teach your kids so that they're not in that situation again. Because every month, I don't want you coming to me to help you pay your rent because you've good time your money, because you thought that you wanted to go to a party, because you thought you wanted a new bag or a new pair of shoes. So then I look, oh, my mom is going to help me. Oh, I can call my godmother. I can call my dad. I can call my auntie, my uncle, because I know they're going to be there to help me. Now, that's what I'm talking about. I don't believe it that way. You know, if you're doing everything with your money that you want to do, and then when it comes time to pay your bills, you don't have it. No, then you got to learn the hard way, because I'm not going to be that crutch for you like we talked about earlier. I have to budget my money to do what I need to do what I want to do. So kids should budget their monies as well. Other comments you want to read those?
Just like you said, they have to be taught. Freddie said, I write checks every Sunday. Absolutely. Go ahead, Freddie. Who is this? Tanisha said, if you don't know how to handle business, you can't teach your children the business. I got that, Tanisha, and I know you mentioned that you're just joining now, and we spoke about that. But I do believe there's something you can teach your child. As an adult, you know you have to have a place to live. You have to have lights. Now, cable is optional, but you can have it. You have a cell phone. I can see the brokest person with a cell phone.
Well, they get them free.
Well, you get iPhones for free?
No, they get I think some type of phones they get for free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they knew enough to go and find out how to get a free phone.
Well, they did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
so they don't like medical assistants, not medical assistants, state assistants. They give them free. I didn't know that, but yeah, they do.
But I'm saying, but they found a way to how to do that, right?
Yeah, they do.
So that's just the same way you found out how to get you a free phone. You can teach your kid that, Tanisha. That's all I'm saying. No, everybody doesn't know everything. Everybody has to go through their and learn how to be better, to do better. Mm-hmm. So we understand that. Not the one probably knowing everything, but we're in a world now that people know how the world goes around. It takes money, it takes credit, it takes just knowing a little bit till you learn a lot. That's the only thing I'm talking about. Okay. You got to pay bills, so teach your children that.
Right.
So Freddie says entitled comes in when a child thinks that because they didn't ask to be born and the parents owe them what they want. Oh, okay. The hood is calling. The hood is calling out, Keith.
No, the hood is coming out, Keith.
Oh,
yeah, with all this coughing and popping these pills on camera.
Hey, we can cancel it, or I just try to stay alive. I don't really like y'all that much that I'm not going to take care of my skin. With my girls. With my girls, because they will eventually be someone's wife.
Absolutely.
They're in control of their accounts, handle financial business. They cook, clean house, and held accountable for their decisions. Every decision has, whether it's positive or negative.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. And then speaking on the people, when we say, you can't teach what we know, apparently you knew enough to teach them how to do accounts. That's what I'm saying. It don't take much. You got a bank account, so teach your child how to have a bank account.
We can have a bank account. We can have a bank account, and like I mentioned earlier,
well, it may not be the money.
Well, it might not be any money, and it could be overdrawn every 2 weeks or every month or whatever. So I'm teaching you how to
be negative, I guess.
Well, how to beat the system. Because if you get this overdraft protection on your account, you can write up to $400 or $500. I don't know what the amount is. I'm just throwing something out there. And it's like, just continue to swipe your card, because that's what we're doing today. We're swiping cards. So you continue to swipe, and then when you get paid, guess who's the first one to get your money? The bank.
Well, that's true. Let me put my disclaimer. I can say you teach your kid good and bad habits,
right,
of how to take care of themselves. But of course, I'm trying to speak on the good so they can be productive little citizens.
Right, and that's what Connie was talking about as well. All I was saying. Yeah, I just wanted to say that some parents, that's what they're teaching their kids, how to get over. There's a positive and negative in everything.
Right. Tanisha said we can teach them simple things, but if you don't know how to save, you can't teach your children.
And Tanisha, you know what? I believe saving is a gift. Not everyone knows how to save. I think that is something that you really have to work on, because it's like, I don't know how to save money. What does that really mean, saving money? Like Big Mama used to say back in the day, put your money back for a rainy day, because that rainy day is going to come, right? And then it's like, how much do you tell them to save? Do you show them how to save? If you give them allowance, if they're kids, do you say, okay, I'm giving you $20 a week, a month, or whatever. I want you to put back $5 in your account. I want you to save that money so that you can have it for a month or something like that. So how do we teach our children how to save if the adults don't know how to save? Because a lot of parents and a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So, they can't save. So it's like, what do you do? Okay, so we're not going to talk about the ones who can't, because we know that there are some that's out there. Let's talk about the ones that can save. How do you teach your children how to save? How were you taught how to save money?
And you might not have been taught, but I guess I'm just saying, we know there are variables for everything. But we were talking about entitled children. We know there are parents out there who give their child everything, and they don't have the education to go along with everything you get. That's strictly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. If you are teaching your child the best you know, kudos to you. Right. If you're not teaching your child anything, kudos. But you're in a society, you're in a world now where you can teach your kids to be productive little citizens. Sometimes when kids are entitled, they have the entitlement part, but you don't give them the education part of how they get these things. Because you who are making the children entitled and giving them everything under the sun, did you steal it? You got it from somewhere. Whether you're using a credit card, whether you're doing it the right way or the wrong way, you're still doing something and trying to understand that you made it entitled, and that's the world doesn't like your little child, like little Johnny, like you do. There's nothing wrong with the situation, how you want to do it. Just give them some with entitlement. Get them some education with it. If you don't know it, figure it out. Because like people always say now, you can't say you don't know the internet out there. That's not how the world works. Just giving kids everything. You on job yourself, or you wish you could just and blink that person away, or blink yourself out of the job that you're not happy with. Or you might love your job, but on these jobs are some nice, nothing nice when you go to work and you got a Tarrant. He go get on somebody's job, he go get knocked in. It's just not a good thing. He'll get on the street. And we just can't have our children thinking that everything is just given to you. That's just not how the world's made up. It's not. And you can see that for yourself as a grown person. When you in this world,
I don't want to be an adult today. I want to speak to the manager. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to pay these bills. I don't want to do anything like that. But I remember this guy said one time, if you show me a person who don't have bills, I'll show you a person who don't have anything. So with that being said, we have bills because we want things in life. So we have to teach our kids that if you get these bills, you have to pay for things, right? You have to make sure that you keep your credit up. You have to make sure that you pay your bills on the due date, not past the due date.
Or before
the due date, right? So if you can pay them ahead of time, go ahead and do that. Paying, I times growing up, they'll get it when and that's not right. They have a due date that's on bills. And if you can't make, all you have to do is call in. And so that's what we need to be teaching our children. Our kids are so left behind because this in school, right? They're not teaching them about finances in school. So it's up to the parents, to this unit that surround your children, to teach them. Like they say, it takes a village. It does, because maybe it's something that that would help them financially that I don't know. And maybe you can teach both of us. So that's my spill on that. I just want our kids to be equipped and be ready for the world once they get out in it. And that doesn't come when they're in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. You start raising children when they come out. 2 years old, not to touch that. I remember my grandmother, she had plants all in her house. And I had my son, so she had this plant on the table, and I was like, Grandma, can you move that so so he won't bother it? And she said, oh no, baby, this is my house. So he'll learn, and with that being said, she didn't move anything. He had to adjust to her ways. And with that, we have to teach our kids, they have to adjust to every situation that they face, right?
So, fam, can you guys give us some things on how we raise? What can we do to not raise entitled children? What do you guys think? I know we spoke on we can't teach what we know. We understand there's some habits you teach are bad habits because you teach what you know, and it may not be. But moving forward, just as a society, we on 2020, do we keep saying that same song? Because adult child, there are some children who then learn, now they're adults and they still don't get it. So do you just stop not teaching your children how to function, how to not feel entitled? Because the little entitled child grows up to be an entitled adult. It doesn't stop.
And it's not cute when you have a 35-year-old entitled person throwing a temper tantrum because they can't get what they want. That is so unattractive, on so many levels. So we have to stop that, at an early age. And Kia and I actually wanted to do a whole series when we talking about, finances with the holidays coming up, with some parents not being able to afford things for their kids, and they're actually going broke, just to try to get little Johnny something that they want. And, you can't even pay your light bills, so you're going asking people to borrow things just so he can have a great Christmas. Denise said, nothing got moved at Miss Bradley's house. Grandma wasn't going at all. Just want to really have, hold a mirror ourselves and say, well, we're teaching our children, look in the mirror and say, what can I do better? And then we can on Sundays about it, because we can help each other, right? Because there are kids that's going out here in society. We might not all live in a place. We may not all see each other. We may not know each other. But we don't know what our kids will run into down the road or anything like that. So we have to know that the kids that we're pushing out into society, into this world, they're equipped, because village, we have.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to do that. I'm sure parents with the perfect children see other children, they talk about their children. So I'm sure people always got something to say about somebody else's child except your own. And we know that happens. But if we can pull together and hit each child where that mother or father may be falling short. Hey, I found this article. Hey, I saw something to teach them. I know everybody's sensitive about the kids, but my thing is, how do you move this young, entitled child to be a little productive citizen in society? Because what happens when something happens to you? You haven't taught them much. So you do the purpose of raising children or rearing them the way you want this to be, to go out into the world and be productive, right? To handle their own business, to help others themselves. I'm sure that's what is about part of being parenting. You don't want entitled brat sitting on the side and then you go to glory, God forbid something happened to you. You left him on this earth, he or she on this earth, not even know how to start. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair to children. I just fair. Now you probably didn't mean to do it intentionally, but we're in society now. You have to equip the kids. You've been in that world. It's just people might have done it didn't do it. It fell by the wayside. But we now, you got to make. Well, I ain't want to say what I want to say, but with the dynamics of this world, the diversity, the rhetoric that goes on, I think our children need to be more equipped than they are to be able to handle their business, because they're getting eaten alive a lot of time by the first world, you know what I mean? And it's not fair that one group is ready, this group is not ready, because we want to cuddle and not teach them, or not try to find out how to teach them. Because just to your point when you said, well, we can teach simple things, but we don't know. But teacher, we know how to Google a site. We know how to go and get the latest and the greatest of anything goes out there, right? So then the same search engine, you can search how to teach my child how to say everything now. Teach, hell, you're on WebMD. You trying to figure out how to fix your code. So we can say that all day long, that we might not know, but it's out there to know, because the same people who say they probably don't know, when we probably don't, I guarantee they got the high-tech phones. They do search engines. They check how to get to the concert. They check how to get there. So we're going to have to remove that out of our excuse bucket and figure out how to make sure our children are equipped. Now, it can be something simple as how to save $5. Whatever you want your child to be into stocks and bonds and IRAs, investment high level, but you still can get them, teach them, this $300 pair of tennis shoes, I need you at least half of that in the bank for you. I know we can tell them that. You know what I mean? Who is this? Denise said.
That's Monica.
Oh,
yeah. I know Monica.
This is me, G. My nephew wanted my phone, so had to use another account. Okay.
So does that mean your nephew is spoiled, Monica? Is that what that means? That he gets whatever he wants? Is that what that means? Don't kill me, but that's what I'm saying.
Right, Connie? It takes a village. Absolutely. And like I said, we just got to find a way to keep our children from being entitled. And everybody's sensitive about their kid, but everybody don't want to be around your entitled, and sometimes when I see kids like that, what do you call them, entitled, spoiled brat, I just I look more at the parent, because I'm really disgusted with the parent that you will let this child go out here and act a fool when everybody don't want to be around your kid like that. So it's really disrespectful sometimes that you feel it's okay to do your child. That means you need to keep them at home in a bubble, never let them come out, because everybody's not going to love them like that. And it's not fair to everybody. You can do whatever you want with your kid. All I say is get them equipped to take on the world as well. April says, I can answer that. Yes, he can.
I know. That's why I said that, April.
Oh, okay. LOL. Yes, he does with me for sure. Okay. Excuse me.
Okay, this has been a great conversation. So we want to talk about, like we said, we want to talk about finances. We want to talk about credit. We want to have those intelligent conversations so that, we can talk to our kids and to let them know that credit scores matter, and how to get a good credit score. Probably about 98, maybe 98, I'm going to say 80 to 98 people. Percentage of people in the world maybe have bruised credit, right? We're not here talking about how we're going to fix your credit or anything like that. But it's like, how do we teach our children not to mess up their credit? Because to mess up ours, or, you know, we know someone who messed up their credit, you know, in college. In college, every credit card known to man was on the campus, right? So they were like, you take this credit card application, you take this credit card application. And by the time you know it, you have 15, 20, 30 credit cards. Oh, I don't know how to pay them. I don't know what to do. You know, so I thought it was really cool when I met Key in college. I'm like, whoa, she got credit cards. You know, I didn't know anything about credit cards. So that's what we want to talk about. So Freddie said,
absolutely, Freddie. Go ahead and read it, G.
Oh, she said parents need to stop getting accounts in their children's names.
Absolutely. You know, that was gonna be next.
So let me ask this question: can you still do that? Can you still put accounts? Well, I guess credit cards you can put in their names, huh?
I don't know. Whatever. See, we're talking about whatever.
No, I'm just trying to see.
I don't know about credit card, but I don't know because you got to they run the child's credit.
But don't they do that with all kind of bills?
I don't know.
But Freddie, you're right.
Maybe before, but what she's speaking on, we know that has happened.
You 3 years old and your credit is bad. You like, wait a minute. What?
April, you're saying yes, putting stuff name. Sharon, let's talk about financial health next week. If it gets no, we're talking about it because, like I said, we're definitely on board of doing it because we want to be able to start because you guys can share with stuff with us. I'm not the financial guru. I know how I run my household on how the bills are being done. I just feel but I was taught at an early age. That doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes along the way. I'm just saying with the generation, we don't have to wait till you're 19, 20, 25, 30. Kids can be taught in the 4th grade. If you can teach them how to twerk, you sure damn can teach them how to do credit. That's all we're saying. And that we just got to change the narrative of it. We got to be able to teach them the good life and also teach them life. There's nothing wrong with your kids having fun, twerking, putting all this silly stuff that they put on these YouTubes and everybody think it's cute and funny, get all these votes. I always, when I see those videos, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my chuckle. But my next thing is, does she know how to spell twerk? What have they taught that child? And you just want to make sure in the good fun of the kids, make sure the kids, I'm all about the kids being productive out here, being able to let them fly and you feel good about, oh my God, they handled it on their own. Oh my God, they do listen. There is a God. That's all you want to know is that I have gotten a little productive citizen out in the world and making things happen. You said identity theft. What about identity theft, Sharon? Yeah, if you got their social security card number. She said security card number.
You know, Freddie, I really didn't think that was a problem anymore because it's like you have to prove your identity so much, you know, when you go get things. It's like they last year they want this, they want that. So I mean, I know it's probably possible, but I didn't know people were still doing that, you know. So
getting around it.
Yeah.
They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Sure, as long as Peter and Paul come together and your stuff is in order, it does not matter.
Right. You're paying your bills. You know, that's all we're saying. You know, you're paying them. So that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about, you know, stop saying that people are not going to give you anything when you go apply. That's not true. Your credit is not going to give you something. So just because of your nationality or anything like that, that's not going to prohibit you from getting anything that you want in life. What's going to prohibit you from getting anything that you want in life is your credit.
Is you.
Right, in you. So if we're keeping our credit up, if we're doing all that, no one can tell you no, right? Because what they're looking at is basically a credit score. And if your credit score is above 600, you know, 650, I think, or something like that, that's pretty good. But 700, 800, that's great. You know, so let's talk about things like that. Let's talk about how we can strive to get those credit scores and stuff like that. Right, Freddie, because we're about to wrap up. So that's why we're saying that series on talking about finances. So that's why, you know, at the end, we wanted to talk about this just to give you an overcap of what we want to talk about in these upcoming weeks up to the holiday season. You know, a lot of people are depressed around the holiday seasons because they don't have finances, because they can't give their kids what they want. So that was the reason that I mentioned the whole finance thing and things like that.
Right. And it's still not, it's still going to keep base because like I said, we're some of the old heads. So not that we can't let our stuff go, but we want the generation before that next generation, your children's children, you know, your grands, you want them to start off better than what you did. So this is what this is really about as well, making sure they have that opportunity and don't make a lot of the same mistakes that some of us might have made out there. And it can be done. And like I said, we are speaking about credit, but we understand credit means you have debt, but it could be good debt. So you just have to understand when they talk about FICO scores and venture scores, things of that nature, because you do think of when you have people think, oh, okay, that's debt. Yeah, it is debt. However, it's good debt because we know cash is king, but everybody's not paying for stuff cash, you know.
Right. It might not be a good subject. It might not be funny and all that kind of stuff, but it's something that we believe we want to talk about. It's something that we believe that, you know, really needs to be discussed. And Sharon said, maybe someone can talk about investing. Sharon, maybe I'll reach out to our financial advisor to see if he's available to come and talk to us, to talk about, you know, different ways that we can invest and, you know, what was the most return for our money and, you know, how we talk about CDs and things like that. So with that being said, Key, did you have anything else?
No, that's it. That's great. Now we're going to give you guys some homework. Go and research and come up with us some that you know about credit or how you think when you think kids should start learning this kind of stuff, so we can share it. We want the village to share because we'll definitely hear go each week. We all want to take some away that we might better invest that we can use going forward. And we thank you guys for tuning in on this wonderful Sunday.
And with that being said, we're chatting to with G and Key. We're chatting to with G and Key. I'm G.
And I'm Key.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Have a great week.